morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at what's going on with Paldean Fates. Yes, I know. It's only actually been a couple of days since Paldean Fates released. When it released, I told you what I always tell you, and that is, give it a couple of days, these singles prices are going to come down. But oh my word, even compared to normal, Paldean Fates is rushing down in terms of singles, and this is awesome. Although, as we do tend to see, there are a couple cards at the higher end that are still hanging on a little bit that we need to be a little bit more careful of. So let's take Charizard as an example. Charizard is like the big card in the set, alright? And as it stands at the moment, Charizard is sitting there, according to TCG Player, it's about a $170 card. And certainly the last two solds are dead on $170. And that is down from, well, it says $250, but really it was about $200 on release. It was about $200 a couple of days ago. I showed you all the stats. It's now sitting here rocking at like a $170 card. That's pretty impressive. It's $30 in a couple of days. Now, I've said very clearly, and I mean this very sincerely, I'd still give it a few more days, let it go down a bit more. But if we have a look over on eBay, we see a similar kind of thing. The last couple of solds, we're looking at 185 and 175. So, we're not talking like super duper 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 cheap here. It's still a very expensive card, but it's coming down quite nicely. This is still another one that I do not expect it to hang on at 175. Like, I think 120. I would put 120 at the higher end for this. And that's not just a figure I've pulled out of nowhere, incidentally. That is based on the 151 Charizard, which is another Charizard that came from a special set, which is at about 110-ish right now. So, yeah. Now, an interesting one to me is the Mew. Now, I have made no secret of the fact that I think this Mew is phenomenal and amazing and brilliant. And this one kind of went down to about $90, according to TCG Player, but has rebounded up to about 110. Now, this one did go down initially, but is having a little bit of a bounce back. And as far as I'm concerned, I think this might be one of those situations where people have just realised quite how cool it is. Because it is. It's absolutely stunning. And the last couple of solds on eBay, you're looking at 110. Like, they're both dead on 110. So, Mew did see a drop on release, exactly as we expected. But then it bounced back up quite nicely, honestly. And seems to be hanging around. This is another one that I would give a little while. The Charizard and the Mew, they are the two that are holding on a little bit. Charizard is going down, but, you know, not as fast as I would like. And Mew has actually bounced back. But those are the exceptions. Because now we can start looking at these cards, and it is down, 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 down. Take Gardivoir, for instance. I showed you the other day, I said, look, Gardivoir was, well, I saw it as high as 150. I put it at 90 the other day. But I also told you 90 was too high. I told you it needed to settle. Oh, it's settling quite nicely, ladies and gentlemen. It's nominally sitting at a $70 card right now, but it's going down. It is still dropping as a $70 card, and that makes me very, very happy indeed. And it's not that I don't love this Gardevoir, alright? I think this Gardevoir is absolutely stunning. I think it's beautiful. I think it's lovely. I don't think it's up there with, like, the Mew, for instance. And that is going to keep it down quite a bit. The last couple solds on eBay are 70 and 75. So again, right now, we can put Gardevoir quite comfortably at a $70 card. But I'm only a couple days in here. Believe me, over the next couple days, this is going to keep going down. We're not going to have multiple, like, $70+ cards in this set. We might have Charizard and Mew. We might keep those two at that high. But that is about the best we are going to do at this stage. And I am all in favour of this because, as I've told you before, lower the prices get, the more available they are, the more people can have them. This is wonderful. And then we get to like Iono. Iono's dropped from like $100 down to really, the TCG player data is telling us it's $65, yeah? It's about a $65 card right now. This is fantastic. Also, very likely that this is actually now going to go and push the price of the other Iono down. The one from Paldean Evolved, because there's now 2 to choose from, so it's really not quite as important to get the only really cool one. And I am just absolutely loving this. And yeah, I'm just having a quick look here. The other Iono is dropping down quite nicely. It's currently at like a $75 card, but dropping. They're both basically dragging each other down with them, and I think this is fantastic. I am a huge fan of this, and I hope this carries on. The last sold was $60, although the one before that was admittedly $75 the day before, but still, this is nice. $60 card? Yes. And, regular Iono is becoming a lot cheaper now. And now even the super fancy version of Iono, this is just, I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. Speaking of which, I'm going to be selling a bunch of Paldean Fates over on Whatnot. My invite code is on the screen here. It's whatnot.com/invite/thewassie. And do remember, you get £10 free credit when you sign up for Whatnot using my code, which is kind of brilliant, right? Because come to my stream, I'm hopefully going to do a Paldean Fate stream on Friday, like 7:30 UK time. And then find a card for like a tenner. You get the card for free and just pay postage. I get a kickback. Everybody wins. But I'm hoping that we're going to be selling a bunch of these on Friday and proving that the prices are going down. I want to get you guys some bargains. I want to sell a bunch of Paldean Fates. We're going to be selling some singles. We're also going to be selling a whole bunch of sealed packs. So use the invite code. Come along. Get a pack or two without really paying. And then just pay the postage. That sounds like fun, right? And seriously, use the invite code. But even if you don't want to use the invite code, just come and hang with me on stream for an hour or two while we open some Paldean Fates. Tell me you don't want to come and hang with me and open some Paldean Fates. Don't say that. That would make me sad. Now, those are all of the big cards in the set. But what about the other ones? What about Pikachu? Pikachu is the big, regular, shiny card. And I told you the other day that regular shiny cards should not be that expensive and that I expected this to drop down quite nicely. It is. Pikachu has already dropped down to a sub $30 card. Now, it's weird, because I showed you the pull rates for Paldean Fates the other day, right? I showed you that these regular shinies are like 1 in 4 packs. So, getting a shiny is not that impressive. But then again, there are over 100 different regular shinies, so actually pulling the specific one you want is, and it is incidentally, because there are so many regular shinies, your best bet is to still just pick up singles, maybe on someone's Whatnot stream at the weekend, on Friday, who knows. But the point is, this one is dropping very nicely indeed. Nobody should ever have been paying like $60 or more for this. That was absurd, though people did. Nowadays, it's selling quite nicely as like a, well, eBay still got it as a just over $30 card. I feel extremely confident that this is going to be a sub $30 card before you know it. And it's going to be awesome. That Penny I showed you the other day, and I feel a bit sorry for Penny, right? Because in a set where there's a Charizard, there's a Mew, there's a Gardivoir, there's an Iono, Penny never really stood a chance. But this is already over on TCG Player dropped to like a $20 card. It's already a $20 card. And again, we're like a couple days into the set. This is only going to drop more as time goes by here. So don't expect this to essentially hang on. Don't expect Penny to get some big resurgence. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. This is going to keep going down. It's going to keep dropping below $20, and that's awesome. I am a big fan of this. Like I've said, I want these cards to be available for everybody. I want everybody to be able to go and pick up the singles that they want. That is my preferred situation here, and I just love it when stuff like this happens. This makes me super duper happy. And this is awesome. I could keep showing you a bunch of other cards here. showing you what's happening there. I mean, take the Charmander, for instance. That's the other regular shiny, but we all know what's happening with that one. It's going down quite quickly. It's a sub $20 card. But this was inevitable. This was always going to be the case. And this is awesome. So there we go. That's what you need to know. These prices are going down like we would have expected. Generally, they are going down very, very fast. Faster than we see from most sets. But there is still Charizard that's going down a little bit slower than we would normally want. And the Mew, which has had a little bit of a bounce back. Keep an eye on both of those. Things are getting a little bit weird. There we go. You've been warned. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know which cards you pulled. I want to know which cards you picked up. I want to know which cards you're waiting to pick up for when they're a little bit cheaper. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. Oh, and get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourself till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.